Stop. That one word stopped everything. The pen froze midair just inches from sealing a $3.4 billion deal. 11 men in suits, all with titles like CFO and senior strategist, turned toward me, the black waitress pouring their coffee like I'd just interrupted a coronation. Robert Langston, the billionaire himself, slowly turned his head, eyes sharp as razors. "Excuse me." I could feel my heart pounding in my throat, but I said it again, steadier this time. Page 37, paragraph 4. There's a flaw in the algorithm. If you sign those papers, your system is going to crash. The room went dead silent. You could hear the espresso machine sputtering all the way from the kitchen. Let me back up. 6 hours earlier, I was hunched over my old laptop in a shoebox of an apartment in Newark. The sun hadn't even risen, but I was already working through a problem from an MIT open course on machine learning, one I wasn't technically enrolled in anymore. I'd made it 3 years through the program before my mom got sick and I had to come home. I still study, still build, still solve equations in the quiet hours before work, because giving up would have been too easy. My name's Shannon Tiana Brooks. I serve coffee at a high-end spot in Manhattan called Elliott's. It's the kind of place where the butter costs more than my rent, and nobody makes eye contact with the staff. Except Marcus, the kitchen manager, who yells at me for taking too long delivering the creme brulee. That day, I was on double shift. Morning cafe, then dinner service in the private dining room. Rumor was, Robert Langston, yes. That. Langston was hosting a closed-door meeting with the execs of some startup he was about to buy out. Tech Nova, I think it was called. I knew the name. I'd read their white papers for fun. I'd also flagged something odd in their approach months ago. A weird assumption in their neural network stability equation that didn't hold up under dynamic load. But who was I? Just a girl in a black apron refilling water glasses. Anyway, I was pouring coffee for the CFO when I saw it. Page 37, the compensatory function. Right there. The same flaw I'd suspected. If they went live with it, the system would break under pressure and corrupt everything it touched. I should have walked away. Should have kept my head down like Marcus always said. But I couldn't. Not when the proof was right in front of me. Not when I knew billions were on the line. So I spoke. Langston didn't laugh, didn't mock. He looked at me like I wasn't a ghost in the room. "How do you know this?" I swallowed hard. I studied AI at MIT. I didn't finish, but I've kept up. And I've seen this kind of failure before. It won't show in your test environment, but when real-world data hits it, everything falls apart. One of the Technova guys, Landry, I think shot up like his seat was on fire. "This is absurd. You're just a server." Langston held up one hand. Everyone out, except her and Vaughn. That was his CTO. Quiet guy with steel gray hair and eyes that missed nothing. When they were gone, Langston pulled out a chair. "Sit down. Walk us through it." So I did. Hands trembling, I pointed to the equations on the page, explained how the gradient descent wasn't properly stabilized, how a single edge case could cause the entire neural network to collapse in on itself. I even pulled out my phone and showed a simulation I'd built weeks earlier for no one but myself. Vaughn watched in silence, then nodded once. "It checks out. The math is tight." Landry burst back in fuming. "This is ridiculous. She has no credentials, no publications, no clearance." Langston didn't flinch. "Then let's test her. Give her access to a sandbox environment. If she's right, we renegotiate. If not, she gets a consultation fee and we move on." You'd think they'd walk out right there, but they didn't. Because deep down, they were scared I was right. I spent the next hour in a makeshift lab surrounded by suits and PhDs, glaring at me like I was a virus in their clean room. I coded, ran stress simulations, loaded the network, and just like I warned, the failure cascade exploded on screen, all red lines and blinking errors. The room went quiet. Langston stood. "How would you fix it?" I took a marker, walked to the whiteboard, and rewrote the equation in real time. Bounded function, stability under all load conditions, reduction in computational overhead, not just a fix and improvement. Even Vaughn looked stunned. This This would increase performance by over 17%. The Technova execs were seething. Langston turned to me. "What's your current salary?" I blinked. 32,000, plus tips. He nodded. "Let's talk about your new position." The room exploded. "This is insanity. She's manipulating you. It's a setup." Langston raised a hand again. "Then let's be sure. Give her another problem. Something she hasn't seen." They handed me a quantum computing challenge that had stumped their top people for months. 30 minutes on the clock. And for 28 of them, I had nothing. I felt the panic rising, the old voices telling me I didn't belong, that I was just a lucky fluke. But then I remembered something my mom used to say. People will try to put you in a box. Don't decorate it. Break out. So I flipped the script. Instead of isolating environmental noise, I used it, turned it into a feature. A new kind of coherence model that didn't fight chaos, it embraced it. I presented it hands shaking. It's unorthodox, but it could extend coherence sevenfold. Dr. Landry stared. Then reluctantly he nodded. It might actually work. Langston smiled. First time I saw him do that all day. Twice in one day. Impressive. A week later, I was standing on stage at a tech conference in a suit tailored just for me, hearing Langston announce a new era of AI development. And my name. Tiana Brooks, head of algorithm design. The room erupted. I saw my mom in the front row crying, proud, glowing. 3 weeks after that, I went back to Elliot's. Not to work, but to eat. Marcus dropped a tray when he saw me. The maitre d' nearly bowed. Even Chef Rinaldi offered me complimentary souffle. But here's the thing. I was still me. Same mind, same fire, same notebook full of equations. The world had just finally looked up and noticed. 1 year later, I was speaking at my old college MIT about inclusive hiring, blind testing, and finding talent where no one thinks to look. Because brilliance doesn't always wear a lab coat. Sometimes, brilliance wears an apron. So tell me, who are you overlooking? Who around you has the potential to change the world if only someone stopped long enough to really see them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you've ever been underestimated, dismissed, or told you don't belong, this story is for you. Hit like, subscribe for tomorrow's story, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes, all it takes is one voice that refuses to stay quiet.